Good morning and welcome back. This is World Talks coming to you live from Warsaw. The situation in the Middle East has escalated dramatically after the United States and Israel carried out a major air assault on Iran on Saturday, a move that threatens to snowball into a broader regional conflict. In retaliation, Iran launched waves of ballistic missiles at Israel and several Gulf countries, including the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia. To help us make sense of what has unfolded and to discuss what could come next, I'm joined by Przemysław Osiewicz, Associate Professor of Political Science and International Relations at Mickiewicz University. Good morning, sir. Delighted to have you with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, Iran has confirmed the death of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Who is now in charge, and what do we know about succession in Iran?
Oh, it's a very complicated system. Even in normal circumstances, the electoral process will take at least a few weeks. Well, given these circumstances, we know that according to the constitution, now the provisional transitional council is in charge, and the council is headed by the president of the republic, who is Masoud Pezeshkian, and he's in charge right now. But the whole council will be in charge, like replacing the supreme leader, until his successor will be elected by the assembly of experts. In the assembly of experts, we have 88 Ayatollahs, 88 clergymen, who can, each of them actually can be a new supreme leader. Now, well, as I said, it's a very complex situation, because in times of peace, everything will go smoothly, probably in line with the constitution. Right now, as I know from the Iranian outlets, it's clear that the Islamic Revolutionary Guards, the Revolutionary Guards Corps, they press for the election as soon as possible, even if it meant that they would simply bypass the constitutional arrangements. So it's a very dangerous situation. I think Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Donald Trump, they have just opened Pandora's box. And, well, who knows? Maybe the successor, the new supreme leader, will be even more conservative, more radical than Ali Khamenei.
Mm-hmm. Ali Larijani, Iran's security chief, has warned against attempts to divide the country following Khamenei's death, saying groups seeking to divide Iran should know that we will not tolerate it. What does it mean? I mean, can we zoom in on the opposition in Iran? How united or / how divided is it?
Well, again, there is no anti-systemic opposition. I mean, organized anti-systemic opposition in Iran. We have many people who are against the regime, but there is no social movement, let's say, which we could compare, for example, to Solidarity in Poland in the 1980s. So it's very hard to predict who could replace, for example, the clergyman in power. I mean, let's say that the change can only come from within. So it's a very similar case to Venezuela, where all opposition leaders, people who could be in charge, are actually abroad. So nobody's really inside. So it's a very complicated system. I think Larijani refers to the situation in which it's very clear right now that the people associated with the president opposed the supreme leader in recent days. It's very hard to say what's going to happen. I'm afraid that we can witness a kind of military coup in Iran, in which the representatives of Revolutionary Guards will take charge of the country, and they will be in full control. And it's a very likely scenario for the moment that these Revolutionary Guards will take power in order to secure the system.
Mm-hmm. And how important are figures such as Reza Pahlavi?
Well, I think even Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi is aware of the level of support he may have in Iran. Obviously, we cannot really say. Nobody knows what's the level of support for the Crown Prince. I mean, the main reason for that is nobody could, for example, conduct such a survey, like, and ask public opinion in Iran, obviously, about it. So even Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi is aware of this complex situation, and as I understand, he does not say, "I'm gonna come and become your monarch." What he says is, "I would like to become a kind of transitional figure, a person you can trust, who will guide you through the transformation process, through this transformation period." But obviously, such a scenario is very unlikely without a huge political shift in Iran, inside Iran. And for the moment, it seems that such a scenario is very unlikely as long as the revolutionary guards, other security agencies are in control in Iran. I mean, well, Iran is not. The regime in Iran was not and is not based on one person like Ali Khamenei. It's a very complex system in which everybody can replace him. And the system has to be changed, not the person who is in charge of it.
Mm-hmm. Right. And Iran has retaliated to the attacks by targeting, of course, Israel, but also countries across the Gulf. And I want to focus specifically on Qatar. 66 missiles were reportedly fired at the country. So while Qatar hosts the Al Udeid air base, is that alone sufficient reason to justify such a large-scale attack? It appears that Qatar was targeted more severely than others. Why might that be?
Well, for the Iranians, I mean, for army officers, it may be the perfect reason, and it is the perfect reason. It's quite surprising, given that the state of Qatar used to have very close and friendly relations with the regime in Tehran. Well, let me remind you that even one of the reasons why Qatar was blocked by other members of the Gulf Cooperation Council between 2017 and 2021, one of the reasons was its close relations with Tehran. And right now we are witnessing these waves of attacks on various Arab states in the Persian Gulf. And in my opinion, it only proves that the revolutionary guards are really in power. They have the real power in Iran right now, because we know that the Supreme Leader was already dead the moment these attacks were conducted. So, in my opinion, the revolutionary guards may try to somehow encourage other Arab states to join the war, or they want to provoke them, to put it more precisely, they want to provoke them to join the conflict and make it even more chaotic than it could be without it. And it's a very surprising move in which I guess they have nothing to lose. So it's a very dangerous moment, which only shows how desperate they are, that even in such conditions, they attack one of the countries which is actually quite friendly, or was quite friendly, towards the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Right, and statements were issued across the Gulf last night condemning the attacks. But what kind of response should we realistically expect from Gulf states? I mean, how likely are they to retaliate against Iran?
I think that there will be, except for diplomatic declarations, statements, I think they will not really refer to any use of power, because I'm quite sure that the U.S. command will is in charge of the whole operation, and they will do it on behalf of the Arab allies in the region. So I think, except for diplomatic statements, will not witness, and I hope so, that will not witness any military actions taken by these countries. Instead, as I said, the U.S. military command will act on behalf also of these countries under attack.
So an emergency session of the UN Security Council has been called last night, and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the US and Israeli airstrikes violated international law, including the UN Charter. So how significant is that diplomatically, and could it sort of alter the trajectory of this crisis in any way?
Well, the most important question is what Russia and China will do in this situation, and I think everybody expected them to react to the let's say to this special operation, military operation in Venezuela in January. They did absolutely nothing except for diplomatic statements. They did absolutely nothing in this case. We'll see what these two countries, I mean, close allies of the regime in Tehran, will do in case of Iran, because it's a completely different story. Both, I mean, Venezuela is quite far from Eurasia, while Iran is perfectly in the middle of Eurasia, and both China and Russia claim that they would like to be in charge. They would like to have control over international affairs, over international relations in Eurasia. So it's a completely different. Situation, and I'm quite curious how these two countries will respond to the potential regime change in Iran. At the moment, nothing. I mean, we don't know about it, because I think there is track to diplomacy between Beijing, Tehran, between Moscow and Tehran. We'll see how desperate the Chinese, how desperate the Russians are in order to protect the regime, in order to make sure its survival.
So Israel and the United States have suggested that this is not a one-off strike, but a beginning of potentially prolonged campaign. How should we interpret the scope and a potential duration of what is unfolding, especially because Khamenei is already dead? So how much longer can this last?
Well, I would say that maybe I will surprise our viewers, but in my opinion, the death of Ali Khamenei can only prolong the war. Why? Because we are entering a very dangerous phase of chaos, of internal power struggle in Iran. And once we have such a situation, it would be very hard to find anybody with authority, anybody who will be in charge of the whole Iranian territory, somebody the Israelis and the Americans could talk to. And it's a very dangerous situation, because decapitation of another state, namely the scenario in which you kill the leader of another state, some people may think that it's a good scenario because you weaken your opponent. Well, but sometimes it's also a very bad scenario. Why? Because there is nobody you could talk to. There is nobody nobody who controls really the political situation in this country. So you cannot really predict the outcome of these talks. You cannot really predict the developments. And I think that right now we are in such a stage of developments. I know that both Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump hope that the Iranians will go out into the streets of Tehran and other major Iranian cities, and then they will simply overthrow the regime. But for the moment, I think such a scenario is very unlikely.
Przemysław Osiewicz, Adam Mickiewicz University, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching World Talks. Please stay tuned for more here on TV.